Wow, this is some breaking news. Mark Zuckerberg has finally admitted openly and publicly to massive censorship through Facebook during the 2020 pandemic, and also regarding the Hunter Biden laptop story. So this is definitely breaking news, because now here Zuckerberg has finally admitted, you can see it here, he has sent a letter to the House Judiciary, and this is like a response to the investigation of the House. And the interesting thing is that he openly admits that Facebook was pressured through the Biden administration. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decision, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. So even though that in the end of the day, it was Facebook's decision to take content down, we obviously have to talk about the high pressure that the Biden administration had on Facebook. And if you ask me, well, I'm not a lawyer, but regarding my knowledge of the First Amendment of the United States and the censorship regulations there, it clearly states Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment or religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So, well, basically we can say that the government didn't like what people posted on Facebook during the pandemic. And this is not only about like serious accusations or incitement to violence or stuff regarding that. Even content which was like basically satire. So maybe people posting memes or pictures or other funny videos about COVID, and they pressured Facebook to take it down. Well, of course, Facebook can say, no, we're not going to take it down. But you obviously have to also realize that if the government pressures you directly, repeatedly, and also through its different agencies. Well, that's one thing we learned during the Twitter files back then, that like the CIA even had officials directly working at Twitter with the teams there. So, I mean, it's obviously a lot of pressure someone has to deal with. And of course, it's pretty hard to go against this pressure. And as Zuckerberg here clearly states, they basically effed it up. They didn't withstand the pressure and said basically, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to take it down regarding to your demandments. But at least now he comes open with this information. I don't know if this has something to do maybe with the current arrest of the Russian founder of Telegram. As you might have noticed, in Paris, the Russian founder of Telegram has just been arrested. And maybe this is a coincidence, and Zuckerberg has a little bit fear regarding the next administration and regarding potential repercussions for Facebook and Meta because of what they did in the past and a new government. But we don't know, yeah? But what we know is that that's not all of it. You can see here, in a separate situation, the FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead of the 2020 election. That fall, when we saw a New York Post story, this was the first original Post article about the laptop that Hunter Biden, the son of Joe Biden, forgot at the repair shop, which contained a lot of different material. And what Facebook did is that they, how Zuckerberg described it, demoted the story until their fact checkers actually found out that it wasn't Russian disinformation, but it was the pure truth. And they censored it anyway, just like Twitter did back in the day. You even couldn't send the article directly to your friend on Twitter. Yeah. So not only Twitter censored, but also Meta, so Facebook back in the day. And this is insane. And then there's also like a third statement in this letter from the CEO of Meta. And here he says this regards his influence into the elections. He writes, despite the analysis I've seen showing otherwise, so that his contributions back in the day to the Biden administration during the presidential race were not seen by people as bipartisan, as he writes it. So that's why he said for the future, he won't be making any more contributions, monetary-wise, whatsoever, to no party. We know from a lot of other billionaires, what they usually do is that they contribute to both parties beforehand, because they want to at least have a little bit of say in what gets what new laws get put in place, how much they will be regulated, if they have some friends on board on the current administration. One really extreme example of this was Sam Bankman-Fried. Well, now he's sitting in jail and he's not contributing to any party, would be my best guess, I don't know. But quite interesting remarks here by Zuckerberg. I don't really know if this is a statement which comes from his heart, as he really sees he made a mistake. But I wouldn't rule it out, to be quite honest. I've been a Meta or Facebook shareholder for a long time, since the IPO in like 2012. And sometimes I sold the stock, sometimes I repurchased some stock. And during the big drop end of 2022, I bought a lot of stock, but then unfortunately, I sold it a little bit too early this year, when it has been up like almost 400% since the big drop. But for me, it also seems a little bit like an official statement made from Facebook now, as to get more leeway for the future and for the next administration, and to just make it a little bit clear that they will be less political. But at the same time, it's really interesting regarding the fact-checking business, because obviously it's a good idea to don't demote content while there's a fact check going on if you don't really know if the content is true or false. This is obviously a no-brainer if you ask me. But I for myself can say, from my own example, when there was the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and this really famous photo surfaced everywhere with Trump bumping his fist and the American flag waving above his head. And I posted this photo, like many other people, on Instagram, and I just wrote the phrase, this is like the photo of the year. Of course, it's not officially the photo of a year by some National Geographic magazine or whatever, but my opinion. And then Instagram demoted also this picture in my timeline because they claimed fact checkers have found out that this photo isn't truth. But of course, everyone knows that the photo is truth. So even now we can still see that Facebook and Instagram still have problems with facts and with disinformation that they should clear up. But I think, if you ask me, you should always give people the chance to learn and to let them set new standards for themselves, and then see if they live up to them. So we're gonna see what happens next on Facebook and Instagram. And I just wanted to talk about this letter because I think it's quite interesting regarding the current presidential race, and also regarding the current arrest in Paris from the Russian owner of Telegram.